There are a few games that are near and dear to my heart. There are fewer franchises still that I hold closer to my chest than my dog when she gets spooked by her own farts. She is a pug mix, so what can you do? One of those franchises is Dead Space. With the first game capturing horror lightning in a bottle, a sequel that was felt to be even better than the first, and a trilogy finale that felt so out of place it might as well have been a different game, it's great to see that Dead Space is back. How did EA and Motive do it? What did they change? What did they keep the same? Will they be able to do it again with the hopeful remake of Dead Space 2? Let's talk. As I booted up the remake on my Series X, I felt something I hadn't felt in a while. I got hit with a pang of nostalgia at seeing the Dead Space logo burn into my retinas in all its 4K glory. It felt as if I was 11-year-old Tech once again, eager to hit play on his fresh copy of Dead Space all the way back in 2008. Of course, the menu selection and title screen isn't the same as '08, what with it missing the symbols of the marker floating in the background, whispers of the lost, and subtle roars and growls of what I'd eventually be fighting against, but the essence of it is still there. The intro sequence is largely the same, but Isaac Clarke can now speak and play a part in the story with his own thoughts. At first, I didn't really know how to feel about it, but as the game went on, I realized that having him speak added more to the game than just being a silent protagonist. It made it more immersive, seeing as how, in all reality, no sane person would just walk through the hellscape that is the USG Ishimura and not say a single word. One thing about Isaac I'm sure you've read about at this point is his character model. Some say it looks like generic white guy number 42069, but in all honesty, it looks more like Isaac's voice and mocap actor, Gunnar Wright, who came back from the dead to reprise his role as the hardy engineer turned survivor. It's a guilty pleasure, but I actually like it. What's the reason? I don't know, so let's leave it at that. The story overall isn't different from the first. The Kellion and its crew still go to the Ishimura to try to fix it. The crew is still comprised of Zach Hammond, the security chief, Kendra Daniels, computer specialist, Isaac Clarke, systems engineer, and two randoms that we won't discuss since they get bodied about 20 minutes into the game. The crash remains the same, except one random stays in the ship because she broke her ankle. The rest go into the main lobby of the ship to get signed in, only to see that no one else is there. Isaac then goes to the alarm screen to diagnose what's wrong. Random number 2 gets bodied by the necromorph that falls from the ceiling, and the chase to the elevator ensues with the famous plasma cutter waiting for you on the workbench once you step out. While there are dialogue changes and Isaac takes a more preemptive role in deciding what he's going to do instead of others telling him, one of the biggest changes overall is the graphics. A bit of a tangent, I know, but hear me out. The ray tracing and better shadows make the claustrophobic halls of the Ishimura ever more haunting. It's great. The flashlight on the plasma cutter tends to be your only light source for the majority of the game, and due to the new lighting system, there isn't enough power coming from the flashlight to light up everything like the older games did. Events are different now too. Instead of just witnessing Captain Matthias turn into the enhanced Necro from outside of the window of the morgue like in 2008, you now step in, get tackled by an infector, and then a quick turning corpse of the captain as you try to get codes from his rig. The dev team added more agency and more true-to-life aspects of being the only one to walk around the Space Marine ship. It's honestly amazing. The dreaded asteroid defense section was changed to make it so that Isaac just had to walk outside and reboot the individual cannons by using his plasma cutter as a sort of sync point, which was leagues better than the anger-inducing asteroid shooter knockoff from the original. Instead of nodes being used to open doors, now you need security clearances, which means that any and all nodes are for your upgrades. This also has the added effect of more routes in the ship being open to you whenever you backtrack or decide to go for side quests, which is a thing now. I won't talk about those much because I'd rather you experience them for yourselves. So pick it up, play it, do it. The music is still as hair-raising as it used to be, but you can feel solace in knowing that the plasma cutter is still the best weapon in the game. When you combine that with the fact that there are weapon upgrades besides the nodes scattered around the ship, you'll be hard-pressed to find anything better. The enemies remain largely the same, with slashers, pregnants, leapers, lurkers, and etc. being the fodder for you to push through. And while taking them out still consists of shooting the limbs, there are some key differences to the original to make note of. Damage now stacks differently when it comes to the visual aspect of the game. There's a new peeling system added onto the Necros where individual shots that don't remove the limbs actually take off pieces of flesh from them. Be it the face, the arm, chest, etc. If it doesn't come off, it'll be shot to chunks. It's pretty cool. The Pregnant is where this can be seen better, where fire damage can actually be seen burning from the inside and revealing that its stomach is held together by flesh and bony mass. Moreover, on the combat, if you played Dead Space 2, you'd recall that you could take objects like pikes and blades from the ground or even dead Necros and use them to impale others to conserve ammo. This detail was added to the remake, and boy does it come in handy, especially in harder difficulties. Ammo is scarce, and you will need the help. The ambiance still feels alone. You hear every step Isaac takes, and if you listen closely, you can hear his heartbeat changing in intensity depending on what's going on in the game. You don't even have to be in combat for a change in tone to happen. An occasional bottle falling, metal clanging, or faraway growl can be heard, and the game responds in kind with Isaac starting to breathe harder, more shaky, when his heartbeat becomes more audible. This is even more noticeable when doing spacewalks. If you wear headphones, and they're good cans, all you can hear is the muffled sound of Isaac's breathing, and hearing the muffled heartbeat is anxiety-inducing due to it making you feel his stress and nerves as he goes about his mission to make it back alive. The bosses are still as large and bombastic as before, and the main side story remains the same, with you needing to find Nicole and get her off the ship with you. The name of the game is still needing to return the marker back to Aegis 7 and kill the monster that is the hive mind on the surface of the planet, so there isn't much to go on for that. 15 years later, and the devs at Motive were able to put me back in the shoes of 11-year-old me, and I am all for it. Even though I knew the original story, the small changes kept me on my toes, and the Metroidvania aspect of searching in a mostly linear game was as refreshing as a cold glass of water on a hot day. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but Dead Space 2023 is damn near and has my seal of approval. Hey guys and gals, I just want to say thank you if you made it this far. This is my first review on this channel, and one of my favorite, if not the most favorite of my franchises that I've played in my few years as a gamer. It's a bit rougher on the edges, I know, but I am grateful that you stuck by and kept your seat on my gondola. I hope to see you guys in more videos, interactions, and everything. And, let's see what else we can find out there. But anyway, with that, thank you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take it easy, guys.